Hello, 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 and welcome back to another exciting week of computer science away from school. So this week we are wrapping up quarter three. I hope you guys have been keeping up. I know most of you have. A couple of you owe me some stuff. If you owe me stuff, please, please, please. That date right there, the 17th, that's this Friday. It's the last day I'm taking anything at all. So if you owe me things, please, please get them to me. All right. What you guys been up to? Please email me and let me know, because I haven't been up to a whole lot myself at all. So I'd like to hear about your exciting adventures. Been playing a bunch of Ori and the Will Will Wisps, and I went hiking. There I am, socially distancing myself from everyone. What a time. Anyway, let's get to some computer science. Once again, my office hours are 12:45 to 1:30 for period 1 and 3:30 to 4:15 for period 2, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Please send me an email. I'm available other times. If you want to have questions or discuss anything whatsoever, let me know and we can set up a Zoom meeting or I can answer your questions through email. Please, please, please. Let me know if you want to talk. Alright, what are we doing this week? This is the last week of the marking period, so check your grade. Once again, Friday the 17th, last day to turn in anything. We're going to review the create task in preparation for next week. Now, I'm not allowed to give you new stuff and grade it, so I won't, but I would like to review it so that we're ready to go next week. You're watching this lecture video right here, so you did it. Now there's going to be a check-in at the end of this video. I'll show you where it is. And you need to enter in a secret number in order to get attendance points. It should be 5 free points. Woo, free points. So you'll need a secret code. The first digit of the secret code is 1. Write it down somewhere. Now I'll give you the rest throughout this video, and you need all of them to get your 5 points. Lastly, there's an optional but encouraged video on array sorting and searching that you might want to check out, and that's all posted on modules. So think about that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what we are dealing with here as far as the create task is concerned. So here's my MCPS, and underneath modules, there's some stuff. First of all, there's that optional, but might be a good idea to look at, array sorting video. So highly recommend that. But more importantly, let's take a look at the create task, which is our big, scary thing that we're getting into, right? I know some of you have already started. If you have, that's awesome. If you haven't, it's okay. You have lots of time, but we do need to get going. There'll be 2 assignments that we'll do next week, early next week, for beginning this project, kind of the planning guide steps. And they're already posted inside the survival guide if you wanted to get a head start on that. But let's go ahead and look at what's expected of you. The second digit of your secret code is 7. Write it down somewhere. 7. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look. So the performance task overview right here is the AP provided guidelines for exactly what they expect you to be able to do during this time. Over here on the left, there's a kind of drop down navigation window you can use, and I'm going to use that to go to the create task section. You're going to need 2 things. You're going to need well, 3 things. You're going to need the actual responses to the questions they ask. You're going to need your program code. You are going to need to write a program for this. And you're going to need a video recording of your program running. Now, there's some free software out there for recording your screen. I'm using one example of such software right now, and I'll post you some resources for those. Otherwise, if you have a preferred one that you like yourself, you can use that. What do you have to do? You have to make a program that does some sort of task. It can be any task. It could be playing a game. It could be uh, selecting a seat at a movie theater. It could be a point of sales program like a cashier would use. It could be a ticket sale. I don't know. Any kind of program. Completely up to you. All right? And we'll take a look at a bunch of examples in a little bit. But it needs to fulfill some sort of role. It can't just be like random stuff pop up on your screen. Woo, look how zany. That's not fulfilling any kind of need. Your program needs to be addressing a problem of some sort. Strongly recommended that you collaborate with someone. Now, I understand that might be kind of tricky now that we're all sent home. So you don't have to collaborate with anyone, but you may do so. And it might be a good idea to do some testing or debugging together. So you guys are more than welcome to contact other kids in this class and have them take a look at your code. I can't give you feedback on your code, but they can. All right? You need to have at least some independent work, and the amount of independent work you need to have is really dictated by the rubric. So you need to have an algorithm and you need to have an abstraction of some sort, and both of those need to be independently created. So you have to have an abstraction, you have to have a video, and an algorithm. Now, your program has to have mathematical and logical concepts, and we'll take a look at those, an algorithm that uses two other algorithms to do something, and then an abstraction of some kind. You're going to submit a video, a written response, and your program code. Now, within your program code, you're going to mark a specific thing with a roval and a rectangle, and I'll show you how to do that. That's pretty much it. So, you can look through the rest of this. Something that's important is you can't collaborate on the video or any of the written responses. So while you can collaborate on code, you can't write anything together. It's very important. No one can read your words and amend those, but people can absolutely read your code and amend that. And lastly, don't try to plagiarize something you found online. That's really obvious and kind of silly. Okay, so let's take a look at the other documents here. That was the overview. Now, the next digit of your secret code is 7. Okay, hope you wrote that down. Now let's take a look at the survival guide here. There is also, note, a template for you to get started if you want, and there is a rubric for you to look at point by point, which we'll do early next week. But for right now, let's just take a look at the survival guide, because this kind of has everything condensed inside of one small document. Once again, this suggests you spend about 12 hours on this task. You need to have a video, written responses, and code. Now they want to see that you design code for a computer top program, or for code that addresses a specific topic. Identify how you figured out various parts or issues within your code, write an algorithm, and write an abstraction. Here is the breakdown that they suggest. So some prototyping, then kind of editing your code and making it good enough, then making a video, and then afterwards doing all the written stuff. Now, the kind of two things that we're going to look at before we start is what would make a good algorithm. Now, your good algorithm needs to have the following. It needs to be something you wrote. It needs to have some sort of mathematical or logical stuff in it, which means you could use any kind of math operation, and that would count. You could use any kind of logic operator, and that would count. A parent and two children. We haven't referred to these as such, but we've taken a look at these already. So when you have an algorithm, that does some large task, and you want to kind of break up that harder algorithm into smaller subtasks, we call the larger one a parent and the smaller one the two children. You need to have that kind of code structure somewhere in there. What do we call that? Top-down design. So you're going to come to some decision about your program, and then you're going to have somewhere in there where you have a hard task, you have a large kind of algorithm that's doing something large and difficult, and then two smaller ones within there competing or completing a smaller part of that larger thing. And then together they do the whole task. And lastly, if you actually make these things separate functions, it makes it really, really easy to write about. So we'll take a look at that. There will be an activity in here that we'll do early next week. You can take a look at that if you want to work ahead. Now, an abstraction needs to be I know all of you at home shouted function. Now, it needs to be a function you wrote. It needs to be something that's not code provided. Remember, we've already talked about this. On-event does not count. On-event is code provided, or code.org provided. You didn't write that. It needs to be a function you yourself wrote, not contained within anything else. All right, and we'll do an activity to go along with that as well. Now you guys are going to come up with some ideas, and then you can use the rest of this to plan out your stuff. So I hope these documents kind of eliminate some anxiety if you have any, and please look at them on your own. Lastly, to record your attendance for this week, all you got to do is enter in your 4 digits that I've given you. The last one is 6. Now you have all 4 of your digits. Please take those and put them right inside of week 3 attendance check-in right here underneath assignments. So please go ahead and do that right now so that I know you're keeping up. Once again, this is the only thing I'm requiring from you for this week. But do go back and make sure you're all caught up with your other assignments. If you owe me anything, this is the week to get it to me. You may go ahead and start working on your create task. If you want to work ahead on those 2 assignments that are inside the survival guide, those will be due next week. All right, that's all I got. Please get in contact with me if anything is unclear, and stay safe out there. Have a good one, guys.